This is the best thing you can have for vlogging. Are you puking? Please don't puke. So yeah, this is Latte, our new little kitten baby who we adopted a week ago. And he's the most important piece of gear you need for vlogging. Hello everyone, my name is SirBastflow and this week I wanted to talk about my vlogging gear for this year and why I have made all these decisions. So for starters, my two main points for getting new gear are mobility and comfortability or easiness, I guess. So I want things to be as simple as possible and preferably as small as possible so I can easily fit stuff in my camera bag and take them with me wherever I go. And I also have pretty budget-friendly solutions. I don't have any high-end gear, so this could be useful to all of you, especially if you're starting a YouTube channel or just looking for a bit cheaper gear. Let's start off with my main camera, which would be the one I'm using right now, Fujifilm X-T30, that I actually won in a contest last year. The camera's price is, I would say it's mid-range. It's not too expensive, but it's not the cheapest either. Anyway, I have really enjoyed this camera a lot. The image quality for both photos and videos are great. It has really good slow motion features and also it's very customizable, and that's something I really enjoy. What I don't like is that it doesn't have a flip screen, so usually when I'm filming myself like now, I don't see myself, so I hope I'm in focus, I hope I'm in frame properly, and so on. And one other thing it doesn't have is like built-in stabilizer inside the camera. I don't use lenses that have stabilizers, so I'm also always like super shaky if I'm not using a tripod or something. So that's a bit of a downside, but other than that, the camera has been really good. And it's quite small as well. And the sensor is good, it has loads of dynamic range, especially for its size. So yeah, Fujifilm X-T30 is a great camera. And as a backup camera, I have Canon G7X Mark II. This is the camera I was using before I got my Fujifilm, and I still use it sometimes, especially if I run out of battery or if Yerina is using my main camera. I take this with me. It's small, it's portable, it has a flip screen. This camera is an actual beast. It's so useful. I guess the only downside with it is that the sound quality of the microphone isn't that great. It's okay, but it's not that great, especially if it's windy. And if you want to shoot 4K videos, this one cannot do it. But other than that, it's a super good camera as well. And for Fujifilm, I have one extra battery because especially if I'm using the camera for a whole day, it tends to drain the battery, so I need an extra one. But 2 batteries per day is more than enough, definitely. Also, I have 2 lenses or 3 lenses for Fujifilm, but I mainly use prime lenses. I don't use the kit lens. So I have the 23mm f2 lens I'm using at the moment, and I also have the 50mm f2. And both are super good lenses. I'm very happy I bought them, and they're pretty affordable. They're not too expensive, but they do have like the more expensive versions with the f1.4. And I am tempted to get the 23mm one. And speaking of lenses, I have a variable ND filter for the 23mm. You know, when it's really light outside or something, filming in snow, which we don't have at the moment. I can just put this on and darken the image without touching the shutter speed or the f-stop. Also, this variable ND filter was fairly affordable. I think it was less than 50 euros, and it makes the image a bit more greenish, I think, but other than that, it's been serving me really well. Okay, next up I have my drone, DJI Mavic Air, and this one has been worth every penny I paid for it. The image quality is decent, especially when you think about the price. I have the Fly More combo that comes with 3 batteries, the controller, the drone, bag for carrying everything like the chargers and so on. I absolutely love this thing. I use a 64GB micro SD memory card for it, and so far it's always been enough. Especially since I have 3 batteries, that means like 1 hour of flying time. And in a day, that's really good. And the best thing about this, like the Fujifilm, is that it's really small. So I can just fold it into a package like this. I can put it in its own bag like this and just put it in my pocket. It's so small, or just hang it from my backpack or something. Really useful, can absolutely recommend. Oh, and about its controller, it's like this small. I can put it in my other pocket. You just plug your phone into this, take the control sticks from here, screw them on, and you're good to go. It's so fast, so simple, and takes so little space. When I first saw this, I was immediately in love. I had to buy it for myself. And there is no single day I have regretted it. And I have crashed it 3 times, I think, and it hasn't broken at all. I had to change the propellers, but that's it. Working just fine. Also for the drone, I have the PolarPro Cinema series ND filters, and they are super useful, especially if you're flying over water or if you don't want to change your shutter speed and stuff like that. They have been really useful. And this package cost a bit less than 150 euros. The drone package was, I think, a bit less than 700 euros in total, and I think it's totally worth it. However, there's the new Mavic Mini out now, and I'm not sure if it's using the same hardware as the Mavic Air, but it's a tiny bit smaller and quite a bit cheaper. So if you're looking for a cheaper drone, I would probably maybe recommend that one. Also, one great thing about the Mavic Air's charger is that it has 2 USB ports. So especially when I'm traveling, this is super useful. I don't have to plug things to the wall sockets, and I can just charge all 3 batteries of the Mavic Air, its controller, and something extra like my phone at the same time, so definitely useful. Next up is the microphone. I'm using RØDE Video Micro at the moment, so you'll probably have some kind of idea what it sounds like, although take it with a grain of salt, because I'm not an audio expert, so I don't exactly know how to edit audios. Sometimes it's really annoying and a pain in the ass to edit audio. But in general, I have really enjoyed it, especially because it has the wind filter. It's so much better than the camera's own microphone. And it's really affordable. I think it's one of the cheapest RØDE microphones. Considering that, the audio quality is really nice. Okay, next up, all the pods I'm using. So right now I'm using a tripod that I usually don't carry with me. I mainly use it at home because it's way too big and too heavy. I don't like to carry it around. But what I do carry around is my Gorillapod. So until a couple of weeks ago I was using this one, the Joby, I think it's 1K Gorillapod, and it has served me really well, especially with the Canon G7X. With lighter cameras, this one is so useful because you can like just, you can do whatever you want with it and put it anywhere, and it's really useful. But I've been using it for almost 4 years, and all the like joints are pretty loose now. So after Christmas I bought myself a new one, a bigger one that definitely can carry a bigger camera, and it feels like so compact and sure, I guess. Like I can put a heavy camera here and I can still trust it. So this is Joby 3K Pro, I think. It has the ballpoint like thing here. I don't know what these parts are called, but it's a bit heavier, but now I can trust the Gorillapod at all times, so really happy I bought this. So whenever I walk around outside and hold the camera like this, I'm most likely using the Gorillapod. So if you're considering starting vlogging or something, Gorillapod is your go-to item. The last pod kind of thing would be my gimbal. So this one's Zhiyun Crane version 2. I got it from my friend for 300 euros. Normally this retails a bit higher, so got it cheaper, which is nice. And I also have the extra part for the end here, so it's way easier to stabilize if I need to use it. But I usually don't carry this with me. I only carry it if I know I'm going to use a gimbal, because it's a little bit on the heavier side, and especially for traveling it's not fun to carry around. But if I have a proper video shoot or something, I'm definitely using this, because like I said, my camera doesn't have a stabilizer, and this definitely makes things easier and gives me more opportunities as well. So I enjoy it, but I am ashamed of how little I use it. But this year I'm gonna use it more. So now you know all the gear I use for shooting my videos, and next I'm gonna show you what I use to edit them. So let's start off with my computer. So yeah, this is my mid 15-inch MacBook Pro, and I pretty much edit all my photos and videos using this. Considering this computer is 5 years old now, it's really powerful and useful and doesn't feel old at all. I can like edit 4K footage with no problem, so that's really comfortable. I love it. It's my little baby. And one of the best things about this older MacBook is that it has a SD card reader over here. And when I edit my videos, I don't transfer them on my computer because it gets full really fast. It does have SSD hard drive, but it's only 256 gigabytes, so it gets full really fast. And that's why I'm using this one, Seagate 2 terabyte external hard drive. And even though it's not SSD, it's still fast enough for me to work on my videos through the hard drive. It's been serving me super well. So I was thinking I'm gonna get like 10 terabyte hard drive that I'm only gonna use at home and use it as a storage instead of like a working space. So I can always have this around wherever I go. And the software I use for my videos is Final Cut Pro, like 99% of the time, because I can do pretty much everything there that I need to do. However, if I want to do some cool motion graphics or add some VFX or something, which I usually don't do, I do have Adobe After Effects as well. And for photos and thumbnails and so on, I use Photoshop. So whenever I'm shooting somewhere else than my home, I of course need to carry my stuff with me, and for that I use this Alpaka bags number 8, I think. I was just searching for it online and I couldn't find it on their website, but I don't know, maybe they still do sell it, but I found it by accident. They advertised it on Instagram and I fell for it. And I have really enjoyed this backpack. In case you didn't know, I'm a huge backpack geek or a freak, more like I really like functional and, you know, like useful backpacks that don't take too much space and have loads of pockets, and I can organize my life in a backpack. That's like my goal. So this backpack has a top pocket over here that you can actually open from here, and lots of extra pockets like for a laptop, smaller pockets in the front, a hidden pocket over here. But the main thing I wanted this one was that it has like a camera pouch pocket thing on the back side. So if I open this, I have like sockets for lenses. I can put my drone here, my camera here. I can have all the batteries over here and so on. So it's been really useful for me, at least. This one was like 150 euros, so it's not exactly cheap, but it's still really good and affordable compared to many other camera bags. My only problems with this one are that I lost one metal piece from here. It doesn't really affect anything, but it's just aesthetically ugly now from this part. As you can see, if you compare this side and this side, this ugly. And the second problem is that this backpack doesn't really stand on its own anymore. It used to do that when it was still new, but I guess it has kind of lost its form in time and it's really annoying. But when it's full of stuff, it stands on its own quite well. So that was pretty much all the gear I own, and as you can see, I don't have any like camera lights or any kind of lights for shooting. I usually film outside or in a natural light, daylight, but I would like to have some kind of small LED thing like the Aperture ALMC. It seems really useful and could be fun and easy to carry around. It's really small, so I'm thinking of getting that. If I'm just shooting at home, sitting still, I just open an empty tab on my iMac and up the screen brightness to the full, and I have like some kind of main light. It's surprisingly useful. We also do have a ring light, but I don't really use it for my own videos. Do you have any recommendations for getting lights or some kind of easy lighting setup? I usually shoot outside or something like this. So if you have any recommendations for small, easy to carry lights, please let me know in the comments below. And that was pretty much it. If you have any questions about my gear or how I do things, please let me know in the comment section below. And if you're a photographer or a videographer, let me know what kind of gear you use to work on your art. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to give it a little thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe and ring the bell if you want to get notified. I would really appreciate that. And like I said, if you have any questions, ask them in the comments below. But with that, I'm gonna end this video. Thank you so much for watching, and SirBastflow and latte out.